Well, the NTSB says faulty inspections contributed to the collapse of the Fern Hollow Bridge. One of those inspections just 4 months before the bridge fell.
Now Action News Investigates has learned 2 companies that did those inspections are working on major roadway projects in Pittsburgh. Investigative reporter Paul Van Osdol downtown tonight with that story.
One of those projects is PennDOT's upgrade of the Parkway East bathtub. The other, Allegheny County's renovation of the Armstrong tunnels. Now, Action News Investigates has learned both inspection companies have been accused of making serious errors on major projects even before Fern Hollow. One of the companies, CDM Smith, has faced allegations of corruption. Sky 4 shows the bathtub earlier this month after drenching rains. PennDOT is hoping to avoid scenes like this with a major reconstruction aided by millions of federal dollars. Earlier this year, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said the bathtub project is critical for public safety.
The bathtub is not just an obstacle to overcome, it's a warning sign.
Action News Investigates learned the company hired by PennDOT to design the new bathtub is CDM Smith, who was also PennDOT's contractor to inspect the Fern Hollow Bridge from 2014 to 2019. The NTSB found a variety of factors contributed to the bridge collapse, including lack of maintenance and oversight by the city and PennDOT. Also, poor quality inspections by PennDOT contractors that were not in compliance with national standards. The Safety Board says inaccurate bridge load rating calculations were done in 2014 to calculate the maximum vehicle size the bridge could carry. This document shows CDM Smith's measurements done to determine the load rating. The NTSB says the city's poor record-keeping influenced the inspectors' calculations. The result? Inspectors rated the bridge at 26 tons, but the NTSB says its rating should have been just 3 tons, enough to carry only 2 standard-sized cars.
Had they calculated it correctly, the bridge would have been closed and should have been closed.
CDM Smith did not respond to multiple requests for comment from Action News Investigates. The Boston-based company, the City of Pittsburgh, and 2 other consulting firms are facing lawsuits from 7 victims of the collapse. And that's not all. Court records show CDM Smith has paid more than $40 million to settle lawsuits over alleged negligence and deficiencies at water and sewer treatment projects in Massachusetts, New Mexico, and California in the past decade. In a pending case, the city of Shreveport says it paid CDM Smith and its subcontractors $43 million for a sewer project and has received little or nothing of value in return, rendering their work on the project essentially worthless and useless to the city. In court papers, CDM Smith denies the allegations. Mayor Ed Gainey and 2 of his top officials say they were unaware of the company's history. Is that concerning to you?
Well, anytime you have something like that, everything would be concerning.
Local officials were also concerned about this: bribery allegations against CDM Smith. In this 2017 letter, the Justice Department says the company paid $1 million in bribes to Indian government officials to obtain highway and water projects that netted the company $4 million in profits. Because the company disclosed the bribes and turned over illegal profits to the U.S. government, the feds closed the investigation. In a statement at the time, the company's then CEO said, CDM Smith has a clear code of ethics and core values that drive our behavior every day. Any breach of these values or improper business activities is counter to our culture and will not be tolerated. Months later, he retired. Action News Investigates shared the FBI letter with Allegheny County Controller Corey O'Connor.
Showing me this right now, it's alarming that we should do a little bit more background on these companies.
Congresswoman Summer Lee helped secure the bathtub funding. Action News Investigates asked her about the previous allegations against CDM Smith.
I did not know that, but it's absolutely something that we'll be looking into and we'll ask questions about because we want to make sure that this is done right and that it's done safely.
Safety is also a priority for the multi-million-dollar renovation of the Armstrong Tunnel.
The new Armstrong Tunnel will be a much safer experience, both for drivers and for pedestrians.
Allegheny County paid Gannett Fleming $1.9 million to design the tunnel project. Gannett Fleming is the company that inspected the Fern Hollow Bridge in 2020 and 2021, just 4 months before it collapsed. The NTSB found several deficiencies in the quality of the inspections by PennDOT contractors, including Gannett Fleming and CDM Smith. It's not the first time the NTSB has called out Gannett Fleming. In July 2006, the ceiling in one of Boston's Big Dig tunnels collapsed, dropping 26 tons of concrete onto the roadway, killing 38-year-old Milena Del Valle. The NTSB found contractors used the wrong glue to hold anchor bolts in place and blamed Gannett Fleming and another company for that error. In this report, the NTSB said use of an inappropriate epoxy formulation resulted from the failure of Gannett Fleming and Bechtel Parsons Brinkerhoff to identify potential creep in the anchor adhesive as a critical long-term failure mode and to account for possible anchor creep in the design, specifications, and approval process for the epoxy anchors used in the tunnel. The safety board said if Gannett Fleming had recommended a stronger epoxy, the accident might have been prevented. A Gannett Fleming spokesperson said they could not comment due to the pending litigation involving the Fern Hollow Bridge. Action News Investigates wanted to ask PennDOT why they continue to work with CDM Smith and Gannett Fleming after the Fern Hollow collapse. PennDOT refused an interview but issued a statement saying PennDOT is meeting with these firms individually to ensure there is no doubt about PennDOT's commitment to the safety of Pennsylvania bridges and highways. This is consistent with the proactive measures PennDOT implemented before the NTSB report was issued. What can you say to reassure the public that these companies are going to do the work correctly?
Our office will be there. I mean, we will not let anything slide.
PennDOT says construction on the bathtub project will not begin until 2026. The Armstrong Tunnel renovation is already underway, and Allegheny County says it should be done by next year. Reporting from downtown, Paul Van Osdol, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.